Hare Dandot Pranam. So welcome all the devotees for today's session on Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are going to continue with Canto 1, Chapter 9, wherein we are seeing how Bhishma Dev has responded to most of the queries which Yudhishthira Maharaj has raised. So today he will be finishing his instructions, and the time comes which is most appropriate for him to leave his body. So it is at this particular point of time that we are going to be seeing the discussions today going further. So let us continue with our discussions. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatah Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Hare Krishna. So I'll be reading the shlokas one by one. धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्षं च सह उपायान यथा मुने नानाख्यान इतिहासेषु वर्णयामास तत्त्ववित् धर्मं प्रवदत्त तस्य सकालः प्रत्युपस्थितः यः योगिनः छन्द मृत्युः वाञ्छित तुत तरायनः धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्षं च सह उपायान यथा मुने नाना आख्याने इतिहासेषु वर्णयाम आस तत्त्ववित् धर्मां प्रवदत्तः तस्य सकालः प्रत्युपस्थितः यो योगिनः छन्द मृत्योः वांछितः तुत उत्तरायणः धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्षां च सह उपायान यथा मुने नाना आख्याने इतिहासेषु वर्णयामास तत्त्ववित् धर्मं प्रवदत्त तस्य सकालः प्रति उपस्थितः यः योगिनः छन्द मृत्योः वांछितः तत् उत्तरायणः. Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Then he described the occupational duties of different orders and statuses of life, citing instances from history, for he was himself well acquainted with the truth. While Bhishmadev was describing occupational duties, the sun's course ran into the northern hemisphere. This period is desired by mystics who die at their will. Purport. Incidents mentioned in the Vedic literature, such as the Puranas, Mahabharata, and Ramayana, are factual historical narrations that took place sometime in the past, although not in any chronological order. Such historical facts, being instructive for ordinary men, were assorted without chronological reference. Besides that, they happen on different planets, nay, in different universes, and thus the description of the narrations is sometimes measured by 3 dimensions. We are simply concerned with the instructive lessons of such incidents, even though they are not in order by our limited range of understanding. Bhishmadev describes such narrations before Maharaj Yudhishthira in reply to his different questions. The perfect yogis or mystics can leave the material body at their own sweet will at a suitable time and go to a suitable planet desired by them. In the Bhagavad Gita 8.24, it is said that self-realized souls who have exactly identified themselves with the interest of the Supreme Lord can generally leave the material body during the time of the fire god's effulgence and when the sun is in the northern horizon, and thus achieve the transcendental sky. In the Vedas, these times are considered auspicious for quitting the body, and they are taken advantage of by the expert mystics who have perfected the system. The perfection of yoga means attainment of such supernatural states so as to be able to leave the material body as desired. Yogis can also reach any planet within no time without a material vehicle. The yogis can reach the highest planetary system within a very short time, and this is impossible for the materialist. Even attempting to reach the highest planet will take millions of years at a speed of millions of miles per hour. This is a different science, and Bhishmadev knew well how to utilize it. He was just waiting for the suitable moment to quit his material body, and the golden opportunity arrived when he was instructing his noble grandsons, the Pandavas. He thus prepared himself to quit his body before the exalted Lord Krishna, the pious uh, Pandavas, and the great sages headed by Bhagyavan Vyasa. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश कारिणे वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण। I offer my obeisances unto the lotus feet of all the devotees who have assembled out here, and also at lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, out here at the lotus feet of Sri Radha Madhav and the Ashtasakis, at the lotus feet of all the Panchatattvas, and most importantly, the Gaur Chandra. Because finally, it is they who give the energy to us, and it is their energy that we have to repay over the period of time that we have got. Bhaunam janmanamante dnyanvan mam prapadyante is what Krishna has said. That it is after millions and millions of births that we get the opportunity to be in a human life form. And even in that, amongst thousands of humans, only few become the yogis, and amongst thousands of such yogis, only few understand Krishna, Tattvata. And while that we have understood, what is also important to be understood is how do we give our final exam. Like today, we were having a class by Radhesha Prabhuji, and he was explaining how Swadhyay is very, very important. And he mentioned something which Prabhupada used to say, that Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita are very important to be read and understood. But many times we make the mistake that we read the shlokas or the translations only, but that is not what gives us the knowledge. It is the purpose of Srila Prabhupada which give us the real understanding. So he used to say that Bhagavad Gita is your undergraduation, that is graduation studies. Your Srimad Bhagavatam is your post-graduation, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is the doctorate. And that is what we have to read and understand. And when we read and understand it, it is then that we can be able to understand what Bhishmadev is trying to explain to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Here it comes that the mystic yogis, they can leave the material body at their own sweet will, at suitable time, going to a suitable planet desired by them. In fact, it is said in Bhagavad Gita that self-realized souls who exactly identify themselves with interest of Supreme Lord can leave the material body during the time of fire god's effulgence, when the sun is in northern hemisphere, and achieve the transcendental state. So it comes in Bhagavad Gita also. Agni-jyoti iha shuklah satmasah uttarayanam tatra prayatah gacchanti brahma vidah janaha. Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain the Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery God in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in that. So let us understand what is mentioned here. Fire, light, day, fortnight of the moon are mentioned. So it is to be understood that over all of them, there are various presiding deities who make arrangement for the passage of the soul. At the time of death, the mind carries one on the path to a new life. And if one leaves the body at the time designated, as mentioned in the shloka, either accidentally or by arrangement, then it is possible to attain at least impersonal brahma-jyotir. So there are so many mystics who are advanced in yoga practice, so they can arrange the time and place to leave the body. But by others, they don't have control. But if accidentally they leave at an auspicious moment, it is said that they will not return to the cycle of birth and death. But otherwise, there is every possibility that they will have to return. But when it comes to the pure devotee in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, there is no fear of returning. Whether he leaves the body at an auspicious time or inauspicious moment, by accident or by arrangement. Because for a devotee, with his devotional service, with his purification, he has already purchased Kṛṣṇa with his love. So Bhishmadev, he has tried to explain the occupational duties of the Chaturvarna. He has tried to explain the Chatu Ashram, that is statuses of life. And then what he did is, he also cited instances from history. And he was knowing the truth. Now, once what happened, I was just passing by, and there I saw that Santa and Banta were fighting with each other. Now, they were fighting loudly. Now, this happens. He says, no, this cannot happen. He says, this happens. He says, this cannot happen. He said, no, I am taught in school. This happens. He said, no, it cannot happen. See my fingers, it cannot happen. And they were about to start a fist fight. I was intrigued. What is it that they're talking about? So I just went nearer and tried to understand. And exactly at that time, Sukhi came. Sukhi is someone who is known to be very happy. So he just asked him, oh, please cool down. Don't have a fight. You tell me what is your fight all about. Let me see. Now, both of them used to respect Sukhi a lot. So said, okay, see, we'll tell you. You tell what is right. So he said, okay, tell us. So Santa said, I will say. Banta said, no, I will say. Santa said, I will say. Banta said, no, I will say. Sukhi said, please. Don't fight. What we'll do is, you both say one after another, but till you will have a fight, who will say first. So I'll have a toss of coin, and you decide who wins. So we had a toss of coin, and somehow Santa won. And Banta was, So Santa said, this Banta is a fool. Now Banta, you're calling me a fool? Sukhi said, hold on. So he said, why do you call him a fool? So Santa said, he is saying that 5 minus 7 is minus 2. Now Sukhi, in the heart of his heart, he knew what he is saying is right. But he said, so why is he a fool? So Santa said, no, it is not possible. So Santa was asked by Sukhi, can you please explain? So Santa said, see, here are my 5 fingers. So he showed his 5 fingers. And he said, now remove 7 fingers out of it. I said, okay, please remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now how can I remove 7 fingers out of 5? It is not possible. There are no 2 fingers more to be removed from here. So this is not possible. He is a fool. So Sukhi said, oh, so you are fighting on this. Banta, what do you have to say? Banta said, yes, he is not understanding. I am taught in school. I am in 8th standard. He is still in 5th standard. He is not knowing anything. My teacher told me that 5 minus 7 is 2. So he said, how is it possible? He said, 5 fingers removed, 2 more fingers required. 2 fingers are not there. So I add up 1, 2. So these are not there. So these are minus. That is minus 2. Suchi said, okay. So you are in 8th grade and he is in 5th grade. So he then explained to both of them. Both of you are right. The difference is he has been taught something which is at a higher level and you are still to reach that level. So please don't fight. Take, here is a Mahaprasad which I brought from temple today. So have it. And they both of them had, giggling all the way back and becoming friends again. But then I realized that this exactly is our situation. Many times we don't know so many aspects of our philosophy or Puranas. The Puranas are actual narrations of history which have been written down. So it is not necessary they are written in a chronological order. And the Itihas is not related to this one planet only of this universe, Earth. There are so many other planets. And there are so many other numerous universes. And Puranas don't belong to any one Earth planet only. So Puranas are documenting history of the Leelas of Kṛṣṇa and his devotees, which are happening all over the material world. And therefore, they are not necessarily in chronological order. So many times questions come, you speak Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Why Ram after Krishna? Because Ram came before Krishna. So why don't you say Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, like all our other people are saying. But then we miss to inform or understand that Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead who has taken all these incarnations. Krishna arrived as it is. Krishna is not an incarnation, while Ram is an incarnation. Similarly, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, his arrival was predicted when Krishna came as Varahadev. And that is why we have one of the, amongst the Navadvip, one of the Dvip, where this incident happened. And it is mentioned that if you have fought with anyone, then that is the right place where you can seek forgiveness, where you are forgiven, where even the sins of so many persons were forgiven by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is the right place where you should also forgive everyone who may have created offenses against you. So now Deeptham. So we'll be talking a lot about them in near future. I'll be sharing the incidences. So such things we are not aware. But still, what we try to do is we try to fight on such aspects. Ideally, the historical facts, they are only instructive for ordinary men. And they have been assorted without chronological reference in the Puranas. And they have happened on different planets, different universes. And ideally, they should be measured with the 3 dimensions. What we have to be simply concerned about is the instructive lessons of such incidents, even though they are not in order by our limited range of understanding. So Bhishmadev described such narrations before Maharaj Yudhishthir and replied to his different questions. Once Radhanath Swami Maharaj had taken few of the sannyasis and brahmacharis on South India Yatra, and there they had visited one temple. I forgot the city name. So there the temple was three-storied. And in the three-storied temple, on the ground floor, the deity was standing, giving the blessings. On the first floor, the deity was sitting, giving the blessings. And on the top third floor, the deity was lying down. So, being intrigued, one of the brahmacharis, he inquired with the temple priest, high priest out there, why is it so? So he explained that when a debtor comes to take his debt from the creditor comes to take the debt from the debtor, he goes there with his standing and he says, please give me my debt back, please give me my money back. And when the person is not ready to give back money, he says, I'm going to sit here till you give it back. And then when it is still not possible, then he says, I'm not going anywhere from here till you give the money back. So similarly, Lord Kṛṣṇa is standing there, waiting for the devotees to come, have a look, and go back home, back to God. But he gets neglected. So then he's sitting, he's waiting. He said, don't worry, I'm sitting here. I'm there to help you go back home, back to Godhead. And still we don't neglect. And that is why on the third floor, he's lying down in the mudra or the Sheshnag. And he's saying, take your time. I'm waiting for you. Such is the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. That somehow or the other, he wants us to go back home, back to God. And for that, he has created so many opportunities. First of all, he gives us the human birth. Second, he gives us the association of the devotees. Third, he gives us the understanding of our true self. Fourth, we are made aware of the fact that our eternal relationship with Krishna is that of being a servant of the servant of the servant of the Krishna. Jivera Swarupa hai Krishnera Nityadasa. And then he's waiting for us to purify ourselves. And for that also, he has created so many easy aspects in Kali Yuga. He says, simply chant and be happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you just have to chant. Take his name because Krishna Nama Krishna Avtara. And he's there with us, in the heart with us as Paramatma, as Chaitya Guru. And he's guiding us. And if we are still not being guided, then he's also there in his instructions in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhishmadev here is talking about perfection of yoga. Because perfection of yoga means attaining supernatural state to be able to live the material body as desired. So today, if you have to travel, say, from Mayapur to my city, I would have to take bus and then train and then again bus, then go home. But a yogi, he can reach any planet within no time without a material vehicle. They can even go to the highest planetary systems within very short time. It's not possible for materialists. In fact, even if you try to reach the highest planet, it will take millions of years at speed of millions of miles per hour. Because interplanetary travel is a different science. And Bhishmadev knew how to utilize it. So he was waiting for the suitable moment to quit his material body. And when he was instructing his grandsons, the Pandavas, the golden opportunity had arrived. So he thus prepared himself to fit the body wherein Lord Krishna was present. The pious Pandavas were present. The great sages headed by Bhagwan Vyasdev was present. So many great souls were present. And most of important of all, the sun spores had ran into northern hemisphere. Uttarayana. That is the period when the sun runs on the northern horizon. And the Kalaha Prati Upastitaha, the time exactly appeared. Chanda Mrityoho, one who dies according to one's selection of time. Vanchita is desired. That time arrived. Because this period is desired by mystics who die at their will. This helps them to go into the transcendental sky. And Vishwadev knew that this material world, it is a world full of miseries, full of troubles. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. In fact, those who try to become happy in the material world, they can never be happy. They always have to remember that this is something which is not possible in this material world at all. In one of the lectures on this particular topic, His Radhesham Das, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu mentioned a very important aspects. How Krishna controls the nature. Madhyakshena prakritehem. So that is what Krishna has said. So Krishna is always there to help us. But we still try to find material happiness. So Prabhuji says that the utter name of material happiness is actually suffering, is sorrow. In fact, material pleasure is pregnant with suffering. So if we try to enjoy material pleasure, very soon it will deliver sorrow. And if you don't want to get involved into that, then what is required is Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktiruchyate. We have to ensure that we use our senses, every one of it, to assist and go back home, back to God. That is something which is important. And it is for this aspect that having association of the devotees is very, very important. The more the association, the better are the chances that we will be able to go back. Because what yatras or the association of devotees does is, it helps us to remember Krishna continuously. Secondly, it helps us to increase our attachment to Krishna. Third, it brings about a detachment from the material activities and pleasures. Fourth, there we try to learn to see all the good qualities of the devotees. We try to learn not to look at the drawbacks of the devotees. We try to learn to praise the qualities of devotees. We try to have a complete stoppage of prajalpa. And then what it helps is it's only Krishna discussions. So it is completely ahimsa. And in such atmosphere, our Krishna consciousness becomes very strong. Because we are not in a position like Bhishma Dev. So we'll have to follow what is possible in Kali Yuga. And what is possible in Kali Yuga is simply one thing: association with the devotees, chanting in congregation, taking Krishna Prasadam, reading the scriptures, and engaging our senses in the service of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyacha kripa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.